Hi, everybody!
So we got episode 4 and 5 on the same day. That was a rather interesting move. I quite liked episode 4. As for episode 5, it feels like a tale of two episodes. The first half, quite frankly, isn't great. The animation quality is akin to episode 2, which is decidedly a low point. But we'll get into that in greater detail when we get into the review properly. What did you think of this episode, though? Let me know in the comments. The story for this episode actually advances us quite far along, and I have to say, thank for that. After what amounts to 69 minutes of screen time, Lavi and her Jaeger Corps finally run across Reen, which makes me happy since the story had moved at a glacial pace to this point. It was colder than a prostitute in the middle of a Northumbrian snowstorm.
Now, how in the hell do you know that, Colin? I'm wondering questions now. Are you safe?
But as of this episode, things have finally heated up. That's not to say I don't have some complaints, though. So, what are the complaints? My complaints mainly come down to a few things. One of those is how bad the animation quality is during the first half of the episode. I can put up with stiff animation if the story is interesting. The storyline early on wasn't that. It was mostly down to Lavian being separated from the rest of the team and trapped in a sewer system. Tally, Marty, and Iseria wind up helping civilians clear the debris, preventing the train from moving forward. During the portion involving the rest of Lavi's team, we find an absolutely flamboyant nobleman who won't get off his ass and actually work. He's so annoying the writers clearly acknowledge this around the 6 minute and 40-second mark. Lavian says, I bet I could shut him up. I did like Lavi's sass. I have to say though, the nobleman seeing the little boy David's hand and suddenly no longer caring about the divide between nobles and commoners makes no sense and does not feel earned. My other complaints mostly come down to the changed voice actors for Aurelia Le Guin, Wallace Bardius, and Reen Schwarzer. These don't feel the same as their in-game counterparts at all, which is fine, but it is mildly annoying. Also, I dislike how badly the voice actors butcher the name Legram. They say it Lagram. Seriously, that's horrible. Reen's voice actor also butchers Clown Soleus, saying it more like Clown Solias. Oof, that's bad, and I'm not a fan of it. Of the voice actors that did change, though, I don't hate the VA they got for Altina Orion, though I will admit I was not a fan of when the animators chose to give Lavian the Naruto run around the 7 minute 26-second mark. One other minor gripe I've got with this episode is the first signs of Lavian crushing on Reen around the 14-minute mark. This himbo doesn't need another lady in his fucking harem, for fuck's sakes. Another thing I felt noteworthy of mentioning in the complaint section though, DC Douglas in his very short scene off the start of the episode sounded so bored and like he'd rather be anywhere else other than that recording booth. I also found the sudden jump in quality in the back half of the episode when all of the action takes place. The animation just looks so much better than the rest of the episode that it's a little bit jarring. For things I did like though, I love Tatsunoko made reference to the fishing meme made popular in the Cold Steel arc. They even made reference to it in the dialogue, which was a nice moment. I seriously have to question where Reen had his fishing pole. It's like he pulled it out of his ass. I also really adore the scene around the 20-minute 49-second mark. Lavian's voice actress Sarah Roach did a great job. Out of all 5 episodes to date, this one really showcases her range as an actor, and I love that as we see Lavi is far more than just an introvert with a very minimal personality. I can't say how well the VA did in the Japanese version, but I can say, despite my disliking the replacement choices, for the most part, you have to watch the dub just for Sarah Roach's performances alone, as they're very compelling. So why do I find this scene compelling? It's mainly down to the fact Lavi is barely holding it together and is threatening to kill Reen, who had saved her life earlier in the episode after Lavi displayed a short lapse in her usually cool demeanor and lacked level-headedness in the moment when she shot out a wall in the sewers. She did this because she wanted to return to her comrades quicker. Seeing Lavian start quiet, then start shouting was great, and Roach just sells the moment. The character may have seen some shit, but at her core she's still only a 15-year-old, and she's still going to have emotional outbursts as a result. Overall, I do like this episode. I find it was held back by low-quality animation, but Lavi's adventure in the sewer was compelling enough on its own. The performance at the end was great, and honestly, the reference to Blade in the first few minutes of the episode made me smile. I almost want to give this episode 2 ratings, one for the first half and one for the second. However, it's a good enough episode to warrant a 7.5 out of 10 rating. It just slightly edges out episode 4 because of the good action sequences at the end, and Lavi's one emotional moment also at the end. We also finally have an end goal for this 12 episode series, and I cannot wait to see it play out. But what are your thoughts on the episode? Comment below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. 2 of my previous videos will be popping up on screen now, one YouTube thinks you'll like, and why Emma should have been the canon romance option. Until next time, keep blazing that trail.